Update. I, 31F, got pregnant from a one-night stand. Original post. I went back to bar yesterday and talked to the bartender. She told me that he was a regular. So I waited there until he came. He was surprised when I told him I wanted to talk to him in private. He freaked out initially when I told him that I was pregnant, but calmed down when I said he didn't have to be involved in any way. He was very nice after that. He asked me multiple times if I was okay being a single mother and told me parenting was hard but worth it. He told me that his wife was divorcing him, and that the proceedings started a few months ago. They had 2 children but grew apart, and the divorce was hitting him hard emotionally. We talked for a few hours, and when I told him I wanted him to terminate his parental rights, he agreed. I wanted to talk about the amount of prejudice against single parenting I saw in the comments of my original post. I knew it was a thing, but I didn't think it was this widespread. There were many comments saying the kid would have a bad childhood if there aren't 2 parents. This is a huge misconception, and you people need to let go of it. The number of parents doesn't matter. Only the parenting does. I'm going to be a single mother by choice. My parents and close friends know that I've been contemplating being a single mother for some time, and they're okay with it and support me. I'm telling people I got pregnant through a sperm donor. Like I said in the original post, I have a great career. I work pretty high up in my organization and have a very flexible schedule. I can't wait to be a mother. I want to thank all the people who replied with helpful advice on my previous post without judging my choices. 2 things that you need to do before he terminates his rights. Get a full medical history, including his relatives, and have it in writing what you both decide regarding what happens to your child if something happens to you. Do you have family who would take your child in? Or would he decide at that point to adopt your child? Since he would have no rights, he would have to adopt, depending upon where you live. You sound intelligent, determined, and have set boundaries. I think that you'll be a great mother. Gather your support around you. Make sure to find a fantastic midwife or doula for the pre, during, and post-birth, and a good certified lactation consultant for breastfeeding. I wish you well. Also, ask him if your child can reach out to him in the future if she would start asking about who the sperm donor is. I assume you will treat the situation as if you got a sperm donor. Also, with how you will explain things to your child. Another thing to maybe discuss. I know this sometimes happens when a woman has a friend of her being the sperm donor, is that the donor does like to see the child once or twice a year, or sometimes receives updates from the mother. You both have time to think about these topics, but I think it would make sense to both think about all the typical topics that get discussed when a woman has a sperm donor from her environment. One other thing to keep in mind. He is in an emotionally pretty bad place right now. When he is emotionally in a better place, he might start to feel the want to be more involved. Is he allowed to reach out to you if that happens, or do you expect a clean cut? These are all important topics to discuss together the next month so that it is pretty clear for both of you where the boundaries are. Good luck. I'm not a mother, but an elementary teacher. It's true many kids suffer with single parents. But not because of only one parent, but because of the type of parent they have. Even if those single parents had a partner, it's likely their partner would be similar in lifestyle habits and choices. Therefore, outcome might very well be the same or even worse. I was raised by 2 dysfunctional parents and suffered quite a lot actually. My mom is a superstar parent now, since my parents separated in my early mid-20s though. She likely would have been happier and done a better job if she hadn't been weighed down by the relationship she had with my father. I have also seen single parents doing phenomenal raising. And some even far better than double-parent households. The quality of a parent matters most. Whether it's one or two. You will raise your child to feel complete without a father. Or perhaps even with a step-parent one day. They will not feel as though anything is missing because you will meet their needs. Love them unconditionally. And validate all of their questions and feelings. They will not know anything different, so please continue to not allow anyone to treat them any differently. You sound like you will be an amazing mother. With a level mind and strong support system. Congratulations. New baby is lucky to have you growing heart. It's better to have one good parent than two bad ones. You'll be okay XX. Good for you, have a friend who also did the same. Shish has never regretted it. Thumbs up. Op told the father. The father freaked out. He only calmed down when he was told he didn't have to be involved in any way. He jumped at the chance to sign away his rights. Reddit calls the mother willing to raise the child on her own selfish. Should she keep the father's information to hand in case the child wants to contact him at some point? Yes. Should she be honest with the child? Yes. Is she the most selfish person in the whole wide world? No. As long as you collect medical history and keep the biological father's contact information on hand. If your child is curious about their bio dad in the future. Good on ya, Op. Just to be clear here, you can't just sign away your rights unless adoption is imminent. Op cannot put him on the birth certificate, but, as others have mentioned, should she ever want any government aid, they will insist upon paternity and go after him to reimburse themselves. As a former legal aid lawyer, I want to say that the best bet is to not put him on the birth certificate. That said, I saw more than a few men suddenly show back up when they had wife number 2 who wanted an Insta family. So be advised that things can change in the next 18 years. I get that this is unlikely given that he has other kids, but wanted to point that out. I was a single mother for a number of years before meeting my husband. The father freaked and wanted me to have an abortion. I am pro-choice, but it didn't feel right for me at that time. I told him he didn't need to have any involvement, and he hasn't. I promise you that if you make choices that are right with your family at the heart of it, your child will feel loved and acknowledged and can have a wonderful childhood. I am now married to a man who loves me, loves my daughter like she's his own, and he has added to our happiness more than words can say. Sometimes things don't happen in the order that's typical, but that doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. X. You will do great. Try to get some information from the father, like medical history or a picture. You and your baby might want this information in the future. Treat this pregnancy as donor conceived pregnancy. You need to keep everything very clinical between you and the donor until he signs away his parental rights. Despite your belief, both parents are important. Truth be told, many children have issues when they don't know a parent. Many children long to know where they come from. It goes into adulthood. This has nothing to do with insulting parenting without the other parent. You need to keep that information about the child's father because more than likely, your child will want it. And that's a fact.
What the fuck?
All I read is, me. In 9 months gonna be another person here. Good luck. There were many comments saying the kid would have a bad childhood if there aren't two parents. That's not true. I was raised by a single mother. Me and my brother turn out fine. My father was a misogynistic boss. I doubt my childhood would have been better if he was in the picture more involved than he was. We saw him on our birthdays and that was enough contact for a lifetime. Even if you were married with a husband, both wanting to get pregnant and raise children in a suburban neighbor with white picket fence, you never know what the future holds. I think if you get pregnant and decide to keep it, you have to be willing to be a single mother in any stage of childrearing, even if it started with both willing parties. BC your husband can get killed, get sick and die or leave you. You do what's best for you. Just have all your bases covered, legally wise, and be prepared for eventualities. Good luck. Congratulations on your pregnancy. I'm glad you have support. And I think you absolutely nailed it when you mentioned the prejudice. Good thing Redditors aren't involved and can leave their opinions online. I wish you all the best for a healthy, safe pregnancy and delivery. Here's what's going to happen, which will be the hardest for you. As a single mom, I've had this conversation with many others, so that's why I'm chirping in here. Everything will go as well as it can. Resigned to raising this child and being happy, etc. All things you can plan for and enjoy and tough through the rough times, as we all do. Then, one day, your child is about 3 years old and they want to know where their dad is. Do they have a dad? Why is there no father? It's not malicious and I am not judging you for this choice, but be aware of this. Then, when they start preschool or kindergarten, the school assignments such as "All About Me" posters. What do I put here? Where outline of father or other adult is on paper. Then the father-child activities. Dances for girls. Other activities for boys. Perhaps you don't have to have him sign off and he can still be involved somewhat. I am voicing this for your child. It is simply easier to consider all of this prior to making extreme decisions. What are you going to tell the kid when she asks who their father is? Also, is it really a misconception when studies have proven that kids raised in two-parent households fare much better than those raised in a single-parent household? Not saying you can't raise your kid as well as those from two-parent households. There are always exceptions to the rule. But they are exceptions, not the norm. It's disingenuous to say it's a misconception just because you feel it is. Wow. I don't know how to word it. This is an incredible choice to make, and the guy in the bar is probably amazed that you're choosing to go with this decision. So what will you tell your child when they want to meet their father and how it happened? I know you don't want to hear about any single mother household crap. But I know I would feel so bad if I knew my father was out there and didn't care about me or wasn't involved in any way. You are lucky enough to have parents. So I'm curious. Also, will you tell the kid that they have half-siblings out there? I single-parented both my kids. No support from the dad with my second one. My kids, now adults, are genuinely kind, caring, lovely people. Yes, there were teen struggles, but that happens everywhere. You can do it. You're on the right path.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.